You joined us a couple of months ago, and I know that All Turtles had gotten a PPP loan, which at the time you said enabled you to keep all your staff, not have to furlough anyone. Now that we know the effects of the pandemic aren't going to last far longer, is that still the case?
Yeah, I think it was really fortunate for us. So we got the PPP loan just in time, and it let us keep everyone employed and work through some, a difficult few months until we got some new projects, new products going, and we're actually doing pretty well and hiring again. So I think if it wasn't for the government, we'd be in bad shape. But now we're looking to expand.
Now, it's enabled you to help build your latest product, which is an interactive video presentation product, which will be useful for so many people working from home. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, this is the first thing that we started kind of post quarantine. This is the first, native to the lockdown product idea that we had. It's just being on video all day, every day, constant Zoom meetings and Google Hangouts. It's just really tiring. And so we wanted something that would make it more effective, more interesting, less fatiguing. And so we came up with
Now, there are some products out there like Prezi. How does this stand out from some of the competitors? Show us some of the options.
Well, so I'm never really quite sure what other companies do. We're kind of too busy focusing on what we do. And I think there's a whole new category of products now, which is all going to be about how to perform over video. And we just want to be the best there is at it. What we can do is really simple. So it's a easy kind of background like this, but I can show slides and presentations, and instead of having to show my screen, which is what you usually have to do when you're presenting on Zoom or something, which is kind of boring, we can just do this. We can just show over the face, and I need to get out of the way a little bit, so go pew like that, and I can still be here and point at things, and if I want, I can make the slide full screen and fly around and point at things this way with my head. This is all a method of presenting, which is really fun, really engaging. I think better than you can do in real life, let alone over video.
Some of the largest school districts are now announcing distance learning only as we see the outbreak continue to surge in different places across the country. My school district is now saying this. You've got parents and teachers who are terrified about another year of this. Is this something that schools and teachers can use as well?
The way that we think about this is basically, I think we just need to embrace the fact that everything in the world going forward is going to be hybrid. It's going to be a hybrid between in-person and online. Nothing is ever going to be fully in person again. Even after the pandemic is over, there's always going to be some people in person, some people online, and it's going to be hybrid between live and pre-recorded. And we should start making tools that make the hybrid experience better than the real life experience used to be. I think in the first generation of these things, everyone tries to say, well, how can we make the online experience almost as good as we had back in the old days? But that's kind of doomed to failure. You can't make it almost as good. You have to leap over that. You have to invent new things to make it better. And yeah, online education or hybrid education with some people present in person and some people online is very much a use case for us. But so is speaking and performing and doing sales presentations. All the things that we now have to do for the rest of the world in a way that's always going to be a mixture of online and off.
We've been talking about the shift away from office centricity. You've got the CEOs of Twitter, Slack, Shopify telling their employees they can work from home forever if they want. I mean, will it really be forever? As a CEO yourself, like, what is the balance of the hybrid?
Yeah, I think it's really going to come down to different industries, different companies. For us in kind of the knowledge workspace, we've found it to be pretty productive working remotely. And I was a skeptic myself. We always had multiple offices, different cities, different countries, but within each office, people were together. And I always thought, man, if I'm working from home, I'm not really working because I'd made so many of my decisions in, impromptu coffee meetings and walking around and that kind of stuff. And so I've definitely had to change the way that I work and communicate a lot more and a lot more intentionally. But it's been really productive. So I think for we're fortunate. We're mostly doing knowledge work, design and engineering. And so for us, yeah, we're probably going to stay hybrid forever. There's really no point in all cramming, commuting for an hour a day so that we could sit in a shared office. That just doesn't really make any sense. We'll probably find other opportunities to get together, doing offsites and things like that, when that becomes a good idea again. But of course, not everyone can do that, right? For other industries, there's going to be no choice but to gather in person when possible.
So you've got a delayed release. When will everyone be able to use this? When will you be able to use it on mobile, on Windows?
So right now we are in closed beta. So you can go to that app and sign up if you want, but it is Mac only. And we're inviting people pretty slowly. We're not looking for hype right now. What we're really looking for is to find people that we can help, find people whose lives or careers or jobs can be enhanced with get into their hands and then work with them pretty closely for the next month or so to just make it a better product. So we're serious about it as a beta product. And initially it's Mac only, but by the time we're ready to have a full release, which will be in the fall, I think September, October, by then we'll have a Windows version and we'll have versions for other platforms as well. And then everyone will be able to use it. But right now we're really looking for people to help us make the product in beta.
Now the name, you're setting yourself up for a lot of bad jokes there. Why?
Well, so the product is for performing. You know, Nike used to have the slogan, everyone's an athlete. And I was always like, I'm not. But the way we think about it is everyone's a performer, right? All of us right now have these micro performances many times a day when we're like, okay, spotlight's on me. I'm going to do a bit. I've got something to say. You know, and sometimes we're performing for, you know, our coworkers or for the kids or for customers or for, you know, followers or whatever. Is for that performance. Whenever you want to perform a little bit, it elevates your performance on video quite a bit. And I love the idea that everyone can say thoughtlessly without thinking about it, just in conversation. But if you try to say it intentionally, it's actually kind of hard. Like even for me to say it intentionally, to say, oh, so we built I have to pause for half a second because I have to consider how am I going to pronounce it? Which syllable am I going to inflect? It's almost like you can't say the name, you have to perform it. The name itself is a micro performance. And I thought that was just kind of a beautiful thing for a product that's meant to enhance your performance. It's like, well, just saying the name is a performance in and of itself. And then you're ready to perform other things.